if you have this deep passion and desire to do something on this earth, and it's something that is beyond yourself and it adds value to other people, then most likely that is why you're here. That is your calling. And if this is something that you've been experiencing and you've been recognizing it and it's reoccurring, then this means it's time to start making moves in that direction. This means that it's time to really consider and meditate on what this could be, and to start making changes in your life that align with that higher calling, with your higher self. Why? Because the time is now. And what happens to so many people is they have this dream, they have this goal, they have this passion to do something. And, maybe it's something that they've had in mind since they were a kid. And then at some point, somebody talked them out of it. Somebody said, no, you need to do this, or you need to get a job here instead of over there. And basically it was some kind of negative talk or some kind of talk of disempowerment. And you let go of that dream, you let go of that passion, and you started doing something that you really didn't love to do. But again, you were doing this thing because you felt like you had to do it. You felt like this is what people around you were expecting you to do. And this could be anything. Like, I'm mainly talking about what you do in life, your career, your job, but it really can be anything. But you got into this and now you feel trapped. Now you feel like you've spent years in this world, or, in this particular matrix of a particular job or a relationship or whatever it is. And you can't ignore, you can't help but recognize that this passion, this desire, this excitement to do something else, something that is in alignment with who you are, your authentic self, is screaming at you. It's screaming at you and it's saying, hey, I'm here. I didn't go away. I'm still going to keep bugging you until you start to move in the direction of where you know you're supposed to be walking and what you're supposed to be doing on this planet. So that's how it works. Like, your passion, your excitement, your calling will chase you and chase you and chase you until you receive it, until you acknowledge it, until you start to follow it. And what I'm saying is, the time is now if you feel like this is something that has been super persistent and it's been just like reoccurring and you can't get away from it, and you're starting to notice signs and synchronicities that are pointing you in the direction of whatever it is, starting your own business, or creating something, or moving away somewhere that you've always wanted to live, or starting that relationship, or whatever it is that's been burning within you, whatever it is that's been giving you the most excitement and joy when you think about it. Yeah, that's directly connected to your calling, to your purpose, why you're here on this earth. And the thing about it is, once you start to step into that, that enables you to bless the world in a way that no one else can. Because obviously the reason why we come here, and we learn this pretty quickly on the journey of life, on the spiritual journey, the reason we come here is so much greater. It's so much bigger than ourselves. It goes beyond ourselves. And so your calling will activate something within you that enables you to start adding value to the lives of those around you. And this is when you start to transform the world around you. But it starts with you making the choice, making the decision to say, you know what? I am done listening to what everyone else is saying. I am done listening to the voice in my head that tends to be negative and disempowering. I am going to listen to my heart. I'm going to follow my excitement, and I'm going to see where that takes me. And so this is something that I've experienced recently. And it all started when I read a quote from Joseph Campbell a little over a year ago, where he says, follow your bliss and the universe will open up doors for you where there were only walls. And when I read that, it was like I had a mini mystical experience. That was such an incredible moment because I felt like at the time when I read that those were the exact words I needed to hear in order for me to let go and surrender and to start following my passion, to start following my bliss. And I did that, and guess what happened? Just as Joseph Campbell said, when you follow your bliss, the universe will start to open up doors for you where there were only walls. But the thing about that is once you start walking the path of your calling, once you start walking the path of what you're most excited about and what you were sent to this earth for, then all of a sudden what happens is the universe, God, starts to send you signs and synchronicities. And these signs, these synchronicities are pointing you towards the open doors. However, you still have to walk through those doors. The universe won't do that for you. The universe will open up the doors for you, which will lead to increase and expansion and abundance. However, you've got to take the step. You've got to make the decision. You've got to walk the path. But the question is, well, which path do I walk? And, what doors do I go through? And which doors do I shut? And all that kind of stuff. And the answer is the synchronicities. And so when you start to align yourself with your calling, and the way you know that you're walking in your calling is very simple, okay? Don't ever forget this. Your calling will be what you're most excited about. What you're most excited about is why you came to this earth. However, that excitement has nothing to do with the ego. It's not this egoic excitement that only serves you. No, it's an excitement from the heart, from the true self that goes way beyond the ego, that adds value to other people, and it heals other people, it serves other people, and it shows you that we are all one. There is no us versus them, it's just us. There's just pure love, pure consciousness that holds all things together. That's what your calling will end up showing you, and then your calling will be something that enables you to help those around you to awaken to the reality of oneness, of love. So, yeah, now is the time. Now is the moment for you to stop overthinking, stop questioning, stop procrastinating, stop putting it off. No, now is the time. Take that first step. And maybe this means, you need to think about it more. I get that. Maybe it means that, and not overthinking, but more of like this considering, okay, what's the first thing I need to do in order for me to make this dream possible? And you just start with small steps. And you start with, a decision each and every day, small decisions, and you see where that takes you. It doesn't have to be something super rapid. It doesn't have to be something that's like this major jump right at first. No, it can be something that, like I said, small steps, but at least you're moving in the direction of your calling. You're moving in the direction of why you came here. And as you walk the path will illuminate itself for you. But it's something that really, at first, it's a lot simpler than what people make it, because as Joseph Campbell said, you have to start with your bliss. And what you're most excited about, what you're most passionate about, is going to be something that when you start to express this with other people, you start to share it, they may not accept it. Why? Because your calling is not someone else's calling. However, what some people like to do is they like to almost and this is like a mechanism of control, but what they like to do is they like to decide for us what we're supposed to be doing and how our lives are supposed to be. And a lot of times it has to do with kind of like their own egoic tendencies and their own egoic desires, which that's not the desires I'm talking about. Like I said, these desires transcend the ego. They're free of control. They're free of manipulation. They're coming from the heart space. They're coming from love. They're coming from authenticity, integrity, honesty, and unity consciousness. And so those are two different types of desires. But just be aware of that. When you start to walk in this, when you start to follow your bliss, and you're making these small steps in the direction of where you know you're supposed to be walking, there will be people that come along the path that try to persuade you to turn around, that try to talk you out of what you know to be true. And they'll do this through negativity, they'll do this through trying to get into your head, and like I said, just trying to talk you out of it. But even with that, this is why it's so important to be rooted and grounded in your heart space. You continue to listen to your intuitive heart. You continue to walk the path, and as you walk the path, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. The signs, the synchronicities will increase, and the next thing you know, you'll be exactly where you dreamed you would be someday. It will be a present reality, because the truth of it is, it already is a present reality in the quantum field, in the infinite field of potential. But now what you've done is, because you're following your bliss, your vibrational frequency is high, and your frequency is now in alignment with the frequency of your calling. And that's why it's manifesting, that's why it's expressing in your life. But it's always been a parallel reality. It's always been something that has been a truth of existence. But now you're on the same frequency, you're on the same channel of that vision, of that dream, of that calling, of that purpose. So today is the day, now is the time. I hope this video was a sign for you. I hope it was encouraging. I hope it was something that you've been praying for. And I hope this message is the very thing that encourages you, that inspires you to take the first step. And to, a big part of this I forgot to say was, in order to combine the faith and the action and to start moving forward, a lot of it has to do with how much you can let go. And by letting go, I mean letting go of the fears, the worries, the anxieties, what other people are saying. So this is where meditation can really help. If you feel like you're struggling with that, if you feel like you're struggling with letting go of all the negativity and all the things that are trying to hold you back, in these early stages of you trying to discover your passion and then trying to figure out, okay, like what are the first steps? Spend some time meditating, because meditation will bring you clarity, it will bring you peace, and it will allow you to become aware of what your intuitive heart is trying to tell you. And meditation is all about letting go. I say this all the time. Meditation is not about attaining anything. It's about letting go of all the things that are preventing us from experiencing who we really are and what we came here to do.